So with this, good morning. With this, you saw a practice of overcomplicating something. Today's service is about a practice called returning. Returning to the center, the wholeness of your own soul that we all start from. The love where we all spring forth. It's about that as a practice, as something we do over and over again, not something that is perfect, and something that when we are worked up, when we are not ready, when we haven't fully come in and settled ourselves yet, we are not ready to do. We might mess it up. And so we have to wait. And we have to find places where we can come together and find our stillness.
Good morning. My name is Jenna Kern-Ruggiel, and I'm honored to be today's worship associate. My pronouns are she and her. Whether you've been part of this fellowship for decades or today is your first Sunday, welcome. If you are new, we're especially glad you are here. Your presence adds a new thread to this community, and we'd love the chance to get to know you, whether over coffee, at the welcome table, or simply in a conversation after the service. Today, we turn to the theme of belonging, what it means to find strength when so much around us feels like it's unraveling. A single thread can snap easily, but when threads are woven together, they become harder to tear. In community, we gather the loose strands of our lives and bind them into something stronger, something that can hold in hard times and still leave room for beauty. We may not be able to mend the whole fabric of the world, but here we can tend to one corner of it with care, making it more whole, more luminous, more alive. So take a breath. Feel your feet steady on the ground. Let your shoulders soften. Take a moment to really see the people around you, their faces, their presence, the threads they bring. Together, we are weaving something strong and beautiful. And in this weaving, you belong. And now, Millie and Whit are going to come up and light our chalice. And these are the words of Marge Piercy, who wrote, "It goes one at a time. It starts when you care to act. It starts when you do it again and after they say no. It starts when you say we and know who you mean. And each day you mean one more. We light this chalice for the we, for the threads we tie together, for the fabric we strengthen in the face of fraying, for the belonging that grows stronger with each strand we add." And now please join me in saying our mission statement. The words will be on the screen. In religious community, we nurture our individual spirits through caring for one another and helping to heal the world. And now, please rise and embody your spirit as we sing hymn number 21, For the Beauty of the Earth. The word, I'm sorry. That's okay.
Keep on rising. Keep on rising. But as you do, and as you sing, you can grab a hymnal if you want to walk over, and you have them on the screens. But what I wanted to say is, what did it say? This light that we lit here, that we're about to sing about, that you just spoke about, our mission statement, what we're about, is all about this community and what we are building together, the threads we are weaving together, and the reminder of what we are weaving together. So take a look around and see the people that you are weaving with. Know who you're here with, the people you know, the people you haven't met yet. The people who might just change your life if you get to know them. And know that this is what we're here to do, together, to notice what is beautiful. Let's sing. I'm sorry for interrupting you. I just had to say that. Let's sing when we're ready. The reason we need to come into community and know who we are here with is because we say that we are here for each other, to be in community with each other, to bring the greatest longings and hopes and dreams and fears of our hearts to this place. Our hopes and fears for the world and our lives, so that we can find loving support when we need it the most, and some encouragement when we need it, and someone to share our joy with when we have it. Because when we share it, we see it bubble and reflected back. There's a point to being in community. That's why we're here. So while you are here today, as you are here, as you come in, I invite you now to just notice your hearts and what is on your heart today. And if you have something that is on your heart that you want to put in community, so that you can see the sparks of joy reflected, or that so you can ask for help, or simply to just put something out there so it can be seen. You were invited to write it down on one of those cards, and you're invited to bring it up. If you want us to read it out loud, you write it down. And if you want to just come up and light a candle and let the silence be, do that too. And we'll be here to collect them. You should know that our pastoral care associate is here to take your cards so that you know that they are received by this community. And you can give them to Cindy over there if you'd like. See what... Green light. We all need help sometimes. I'm carrying in my hand a lot of cards today. I'll take that. Thank you. A lot of cards. So many people here today, so many faces, so many hearts. So many lives, so many stories. And these cards are just a piece of that, a piece of our story today, of your story today. And so we're holding in our hearts in community today these stories, these thoughts on these cards, asking to please keep Asheville in our hearts upon the 1-year anniversary of Hurricane Helene. Asking for showers of light and love. Enough to dissolve anger and conflict this day. Showers of light and love. Can we imagine enough? Can we try? I'm so afraid we are losing our freedom of speech. I am too. I still have a voice, and you do too. And I'm still afraid. We have joy for James Vigneault and Brianna Chua, whose wedding is next Saturday. Yes. And for my husband, who is finding himself on the job search journey, may he find the fit. And I hope he always knows that he is the fit, and always has been. And I hope he finds the fit, too. Jim and Christina are, I'm trying my best with the handwriting, I'm sorry. Jim and Christina are with hearts. What am I getting? Friends and family. Someone went to the Black Forest in Frankfurt in Germany with friends and family at a gathering. That sounds amazing. John and Christina, I think is what it says. Yeah. Oh, Jim and Christina, I'm sorry. See, you know, if you were reading these cards, you wouldn't be doing this. That's why we need help. Jim and Christina. Prayers for this person's extended family as we mourn the unexpected loss of two cousins this week. We mourn the loss with you. Community is my favorite word, says this card. Community means together. Unity means one. Together we are one, and then there is a heart. Yes, I give that a heart. I give that a heart. There's a blank one. There's a blank one. I didn't do that on purpose, but I would include something for all of the joys and sorrows and concerns on our hearts, the ones that are beyond words, the ones that we don't even know about yet, the ones that are in there, really deep. There's also a couple more here. Someone expressing a wish for peaceful and beautiful Palestine and Israel, coexisting in loving care. Expressions of deep desire for peace in the world. For that sense of love that we talked about before, what could it change? Who remembers? The shower of love that could change something. Someone will have to remind me. I think I'll remember. For all that we carry, separately and together. Let's take some silence to hold that beauty and that mystery and that wonder and the awe and warmth of what it means to be together. Take some time in the silence. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Just be here with each other. I brought two things with me today that I picked up on my way. One of them is on display. Actually, I brought a few things. One of them is passing around the room. One of them is on display here. And if you can't see it, I'm going to hold it up. Who knows what this is? Yeah, it's a branch. It's some branches from a fig tree carrying a nice ripe, almost ripe fig on there. Okay? You might remember a story about figs a couple of weeks ago, perhaps. So I'm going to set that there for a second. I don't know. I want you all to be able to see it, but I don't think that's the place. Maybe this is the best place since we can't put things on the piano. Okay. So that was one, and number two is behind here, okay? Who knows what this is? Conch shell. Okay. All right. So we're going to come back to those things. There's a connection between the next thing I'm going to talk about, what's being passed around the room, and the fig. Long ago, people say that the Buddha, who was a teacher, a very well-known teacher, who taught about change and love and acceptance and peace and compassion. He gave a lot of teachings, and he used a lot of words like a lot of us people who give a lot of teachings like this. He used a lot of words. But one day, to give his teaching, he just got in front of the people, and he held up a flower. Where's the flower? It's basil, but it has a flower on the edge. Okay? He held up a flower and he twirled it. Like this. Or kind of like I did. And said nothing. Who's heard this story before? Anyone? And said nothing. Not even gestured like I did. Most people were confused. But one person simply smiled. Does anybody know why? Who doesn't already know the story? Okay. There's a lot of ways you could respond to this question, right? That's kind of the idea. Lifetimes could be dedicated to that question. Schools of thought could be dedicated to that question and divided up, right? We could come up with a lot of thoughts and opinions. But here's the gist. He just held up a flower and he twirled it. Now, most people want a speech. But that person who smiled knew that sometimes the truth, it's not in words or in a sentence. It's just something that we have to notice with each other. It can't be explained. It has to be experienced and felt. Yes, we can talk about it. We can try our best. But we gotta just be with each other. Now, that's not the end of this story. Maybe if you look at a flower and you look at its petals, if you can imagine a flower in your mind, notice the way that flower petals open very slowly. If you ever watch them, how they grow. They don't just usually open right in front of your eyes. The second thing, remember, that I have up here is a conch shell. Okay? Remember? You ever put a shell to your ear? I'm sure this won't work, but you ever put a shell? It's like you can hear the ocean. You can hear almost something that transports you to another world. And when you put the shell in, it sounds like the ocean is still in there in the shell. Some people used to use shells like this as like a horn to call a village together, to call people together. And there's a connection of why I'm holding this today, because we're in the days of awe, the Jewish high holidays, which is the time between the Jewish New Year and Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, which is a very important time of introspection, of turning internally and being still and thinking about the echoes of our past and what we have done. And I love this conch shell so much because it was given to me by a congregant in my first ministry when I was the minister for Ari. And it was taken from their family on a beach in Massachusetts over almost 100 years ago now actually like 100 years ago at this point. And it's very special to me, but it has a hole in it. Do you know what I can do with the hole? I hope that didn't hurt anyone's ears. I didn't give enough of a warning for that, I think. So in the Jewish tradition, there's a tradition of blowing a ram's horn, which is called the shofar. When you blow on the shofar, when someone who observes that tradition blows on the shofar, it's like a sound asking people to wake up and to notice who you are and what you say you are and what you're about and what you care about and what you want your life in the world to be about. It's reminding you that thing, that vision that you always had, that the world told you no. It's saying yes. Yes. Sorry. Here. There you go. It's saying, hey. It's like coming from somewhere. Don't know where. It's saying, don't forget who you are. There are 3 parts to the sounds that it makes, but I'll say a little more about those later. But I'll just say that the sounds, I will ask you if you want to try to make one of them right now. There are the 3 different sounds. There's ones that's more punctuated and ones that's longer. And it's almost like SOS signals, too. Like something is wrong. This beat over and over again. It's like the start of an SOS signal. So 2 things to take from the story. The flower that just says, pay attention. Pay attention to each other and to the world and to your heart. All of those things. You can't ignore them, any one of them. Sometimes you got to spend more time on one of them, right? Notice, pay attention, be present, and be with the people you're with. Don't overcomplicate it. And then the other thing says, sometimes, when you're not paying attention, I'm not going to do it this time. Hey, pay attention. Just like I don't want you. Please listen. Listen, please. Are you listening? Yeah, you're right. I'm not listening to you either. Like, it's not just your job to listen. It's our job to listen to. All of us to each other. And to the world. And to whatever that mystery is to you. Ask it. See what it says. Or else it'll wake you up. Let's sing Go Now in Peace. So keep those sounds with you. Those wake-up calls. And this is not a Jewish service. This is not I am not a Jewish rabbi. I do not ask you to consider those sounds as an observant Jew, as I ask you as someone who carries some of that tradition as a piece of my story. And we do that in this place, where we honor many traditions, and we know that there are many ways of making wisdom in the world. There's also gardening. A few weeks ago, a week ago, this past week, it was very early in the week, I ordered a truckload of dirt, compost actually, sent to my house. Anyone in the landscaping business? Anyone know exactly how much 4 yards of dirt is? I think 4 yards of dirt is my whole yard. But my apartment, my house where I live, it had a stone patch, and I needed it to be soil. I needed it to be on earth, not just car space. Technically it was compost. Dark, living Adamah, to draw from the Jewish tradition for a moment. And as I was in my yard, I shoveled and I hauled it and I spread it to build this little garden, and it felt good. It also left my hands a mark, upon my hands a mark, okay? Creation and pain and beauty and joy and its mark, all in one day. And I kept thinking about that at this time of year, the beginning of fall too. We just had the equinox, the first day of fall. Our gardens are almost ready to be put to bed, many of them. And I kept thinking about my own experiences of Rosh Hashanah and the days of awe and practice that I once had when that was important to me. And what was very important to me, what is very important to me in life, is the fact that I cannot unbind creation and destruction from each other. They're not separate things. They're not even cyclical. They're spherical or something. I don't know. Maybe they are just essence itself. Maybe they are that thing that the Buddha was trying to point out by swirling it around, pointing out how it goes through everything. That we all come from that same thing, from a spiraling source and back to it. But I also think about that in this life, in this essence, because I'm not just talking about the cosmic stardust thing either. I'm talking about me, you, your life today. And I think about my own path as a person and how I'm constantly feeling that, improving and growing and changing and then messing up. And growing and changing and making a mistake and growing and changing and learning from the people that I'm with of all ages. And I think about each time in that cycle what I learn and what I choose to cast off, because that's one of the things that this time of year often asks in many traditions, whether it be a pagan tradition of looking at the leaves falling from the trees about to fall and thinking about what we need to let go of and what is impermanent. Or whether it is the Jewish tradition of returning during this time to one's essence, to who you are, and thinking about what needs to be cast off, what gets in the way. And as I was building the garden, I was thinking about how the answer was right there in front of me. It's compost. Right on my hands, in my wounds. Right there, reminding me of my flesh and blood, who I am, what I am, and that it is no different from the dirt. Compost is often what's been cast off, unused, not needed, but it is what has been transformed. And it gives us food, it gives more life. And so I am reminded in that moment of what is often gained from casting things off that I don't need, and how it can benefit others, and how when I can let go of things I don't need, behaviors, thoughts, just anything, how that can be so much better for those I love and for myself, and just easier. I thought about that, and I thought about how beautiful that is. That we as human beings can look at dirt and think about growth and nourishment. I want to talk about belonging today. We're talking about belonging today. And I want to talk more about the garden. The garden with the cuts and the stings, if you remember from the fig story a few weeks ago, eating a fig and then getting stung, remembering that figs come from wasps being consumed. I want to stand here and think about that, but I need to say one truth first. Every one of us, I believe, and maybe it's because of the phase of life that I'm in and I am surrounded by children, and I think about kids, which in turn makes me think of my own childhood, right? A lot of the stuff in parenting is not just me and my kid today, it's echoes, 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 fractal patterns. So I think about this. Each and every one of us, this is the truth. Each and every one of us started out as soft, scared, beautiful babies who just wanted to be held and loved and nourished. And really nothing changed. We all still want the same thing. Before we learned sides and parties or slogans, we knew the beauty of being held and holding. And then the world teaches us something else, sorting and defending and finding our people or our brand or our lane, all that stuff. And you know what? Sometimes that is healing. I'm not saying it isn't. We all need safe circles, safe places, chosen family. We all need those things sometimes. We all need those places to be with our people. I hear so many times when people come in here that they came here because they wanted to find a community of like-minded people. There's nothing wrong with wanting to feel safe amongst your people so that you can strategize. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But if we stop at parties and slogans and denominations and subcommittees of committees, if we stop there, belonging shrinks into what? I don't know, like a security system, I think. If we stop there, right? Locking in what we value and locking out the people we're sure do not value it. This is not an accusatory speech, by the way. As a parent, I know that if I start anything with, are you listening? Are you listening? Am I listening to you? Am I? What I'm trying to say is, true belonging is something else. It's different. It's not picking the right shoe at the store. It's not finding the one perfect city or town or however it is that you describe Huntington Station, municipality. Even though it's part of Huntington, we'll get there some other time. I still don't get that. Okay. It's not even finding the perfect place to live. It's picking the right shoe or the acceptable label of whatever kind. It's noticing the fabric that already holds us, the threads we didn't invent, the truth that is there that we need to just remember. Remember that thing I said? The truth that we all want. And by the way, I believe that truth is present because there is something about the universe, about life, the yearning for life and community and people. There is something, I believe. And I'm not just talking about motherhood or parenthood or birth or being able to have biological children. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about there is an urge that people have to care for one another and to be cared for. So I'm saying, actually, you know what? I think that's a moment where I need to leave that thought for a second, and you'll see why. As I move on, I want you to take this, okay? True belonging, it's the courage to say we. And each day means something more than what you are thinking today. Whatever that means. And this isn't just like make friends with someone with different beliefs than you. That's not what I'm saying either. Think about this. The other day, I was sitting in my car, okay? Talk about wake-ups. Not going to blow anyone's eardrums. The other day, I was sitting in my car, finishing some work. This was an old habit that I developed during the pandemic, and I still do it a lot. It's my little mobile office. It's actually like, I call it my little metal womb. My car is this kind of cool black shape anyway. It's bigger on the inside. It's like a TARDIS. Okay. A man walked up to me, and I was doing this a lot in cities before, especially when I lived in the city. And I was used to, if I parked somewhere, I had this one beautiful spot, great view, but trucks didn't like it. So I was used to parking there and getting interrupted So I'm sitting in my car doing work, actually writing this sermon, and someone walked up to me, just a guy, all right, actually I don't know the person's gender, just this person walked up to me and my chest tightened immediately because I was focused and I was just thinking about awful news things and what I'm writing, and he knocked on my window, so it was kind of jarring. And my chest tightened, and I looked up like, oh, what did I do? What is he mad about? So I rolled down my window, and I was like ready for that. And he said, hey, do you work at the car dealership across the street? My first thought was like, why do I look like I sell cars? I was wearing a tie. I guess not many people wear ties on a Saturday afternoon. Fair enough. You work at the car dealership? And I said no. And we ended up talking about, by the way, so he wasn't mad at all at me. We ended up talking about the car dealership and the traffic that they cause driving down the street and how we really need to talk to them. Like, someone needs to do something about it. And how it's not good for the kids and all this stuff. And this moment of me expecting not a fight. See, I did this. Did anybody see that? I did this. If you ever do that, think about the people that you do that when you're about to have a conversation with. That's a signal, like the flower. We ended up having a great connection. Two strangers, with our guards out, I think, guards up. I think he thought I worked at the car dealership and maybe he was ready for something, but he was pretty friendly, even until he knew. That entered into this simple human conversation, this simple bid for connection. Something I think we both needed and maybe just didn't realize. But somewhere we found it in that conversation by just being with each other and being open to what it was that we were talking about. It's not that big of a story or that amazing, I know. But that's this idea of return that I'm talking about. Not the, hey, are you listening? Do you really need to be doing this right now? Right? Who wants to talk to me right now? Who feels good about our working relationship right now? Right? That is so cool what you just did there. I love it. What is it? And not, like, we don't need to pick it up. Maybe we should figure out why there's something so special about that spot. And we need to draw everyone's attention to it. Or something like that. And we find a bigger we in that moment. Not a rule and a rule breaker or whatever it is that we want to separate things as. That's the flower. Who has it? Anybody still have the basil? There it is. We hold each other's stories up somehow when we meet in that space. That's returning. Trying to find that by something that we do that we weave into the fabric of our everyday lives. You will learn about me. You will learn about me. You will learn about me that I lose things a lot, quickly, easily. When I do that thing, I'm not going to give it more words because it's not something that words can express. When I'm out in my garden, the garden, with people, and I can do this thing that I'm talking about, it's a game changer. My interactions with people, my whole day, and I believe has an effect on those people too, and I hope matters. I don't do it all the time. Sometimes you will see me when I'm able to do that, and sometimes you won't. Sometimes you'll see it in an hour. You'll see a couple of versions, because that's life. That's that thing that I was trying to talk about at the beginning, how everything, the swirliness of essence of creation and destruction and beauty and pain, all happens at the same time. We're not thinking about it in that way all the time. But I'm saying we're constantly learning and growing. And that only happens when we Ginger O'Neill is going to come up and tell us about our split the plate. I'm just going to do this to see if that's okay. We share our plate here as a way to show care. We'll do the hymn next, just if you're confused. Yeah. I'm sorry, you'll play your song next, just if you're confused, okay. Yeah, come up, Ginger. See, I told you. Because when trying to be fully present, it means that I might try to pay more attention to what's in front of me and forget about the list that says what I have to do next, which is not fair to you. And it's also helpful to name what we do and how that affects others.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Well, my name is Ginger O'Neill. My pronouns are she, her. I'm so thankful to be here with a lot of gratitude. I'm a new member. I've been kind of coming here and there for the past 5 to 10 years. I have 2 daughters, Indigo and Simone. I'm here today as the Director of Program Development for Pronto of Long Island, which luckily has been honored with the split plate this month, so thankful. I also happen to be the Program Director for the Student Activity Fund for LIAC, which places our youth and UU congregations in meaningful internships, which the VEACH program pays them some hourly wages so they can actually not be volunteers and they can learn their first work experiences. And also, I've been the co-director of Sophia Faz Camp with some friends that are here, a lot of people from this congregation. But today, I'm here to talk about Pronto really quick and to say thank you, guys. So Pronto is in Bayshore, and our mission is simple but powerful: to feed the hungry, clothe the needy, welcome the stranger, and provide hope and dignity to those in need. It's a mission rooted in compassion and one that reflects the very values that we hold dear in the UU Fellowship of Huntington. So at Pronto, we care for over 100,000 people each year. 90% of those who live below the poverty line. And that's 9,000 people a month, about, give or take. And that is 3% of Long Island's population, relying on us for support, safety, survival, and they come from all walks of life. So I write grants, and I plan our annual gala, which is next Wednesday, if anyone's looking for a fun time. But what I do most is listen and learn. After spending 5 years in West Africa, I know what it feels like to be a stranger in a new place. I didn't speak the language. I made cultural missteps, and yet I was embraced. People shouted across the street, "Obama!" because that's when I was there when he was elected. I was welcomed as a guest, a blessing, a sister. And that experience was transformative, and it deepened my understanding of the sacred UU value of pluralism, the beauty of many cultures, many voices, one shared humanity. But what I see now in my clients, many from Haiti, Central and South America, Ukraine, and West Africa even, is not joy. It's trauma. It's fear, isolation. I've had ICE agents outside my office watching the kids go into camp. I've watched people disappear not because they no longer need food, housing, or legal help, but because they are afraid to be seen. And this is where UU values matter most. Justice is not a principle, not just a principle, it is practice. And Pronto puts into action every day. We don't ask about citizenship status. We offer help, food, clothing, mental health support, housing guidance, legal aid, and job readiness from resumes and certifications to direct placement. Because equity demands that we level the playing field, especially in under-resourced communities like Brentwood, Wyandanch, and Central Islip, and where health disparities like diabetes, asthma, heart disease are alarmingly high. So to wrap up, in a country that often labels places like Brentwood as dangerous or broken, we see something different. And Pronto serves all of Long Island. We have over 52 zip codes of people come in, and that's where they're from. And they come in from everywhere, and it's a lot, but it's really rewarding. And just like the UUFH, when others retreat, Pronto remains. And we've seen this in some congregations, that have dwindled or disappeared, and here we are growing strong at UUFH, and I'm proud to be a part of this. It's beautiful, and Pronto, too, we've been around for 56 years through 9/11, the financial crisis, the pandemic, and now sudden federal cuts and staff reductions. Why are we still here? Because of love, because of generosity, because of people like you and my staff and the volunteers there. So you folks obviously are living your values. Your support means that when a mother fleeing domestic violence walks through our doors at Pronto with her 3 children, then we can feed them. When a father finally secures a visa, we could celebrate that he'll remain with his daughter. When a trafficked youth finds safety, we're there. That is transformation in action. So from the bottom of my heart, I really, really thank you for letting Pronto be the split plate this month. Thank you for walking the walk. Thank you for choosing Pronto. And your kindness doesn't just help people survive, it helps them heal. And it restores dignity. And it honors the worth of every person. So thank you for seeing the stranger and for choosing to love them. Thank you so much.
Every time we do something that makes something that was once hidden or tried to be tucked away, invisible, become visible, we recognize those stories, we expand that version of we. We expand it. We expand it. When we make space for the unexpected. When we make space for those who show up and ask for help and ask for a safe home. People who just need a safe home. People who just need love and nourishment. Can't save the world, but we can save one small part of it, this part of it, this part of it. We can try. We can make it better. That's how.
So just really quickly, it's thank you, Ginger, and it is time for the split plate. I know most of you know what that is. Undesignated donations are split between the UUFH and our Charity of the Month, unless you indicate otherwise. Ushers will be passing the basket while Isabella plays, and for those of you at home, you can send a check to the office or donate through website, Zelle, or PayPal. Thank you for all the support of the work we do within and beyond these walls. So thank you, everyone. We'll just have a few brief announcements. The volunteer tables are to volunteer, speaking of doing the work we do and beyond. There's a bunch of committees out there, so please sign up. It's a great way to make friends and contribute to the community. The pumpkin patch is here, so Tuesday, this Tuesday at 3:30, please go to the American Legion to help set up. If you can't lift things, there's still other smaller jobs that you can help with. And then the unloading is on Saturday, the 4th, next Saturday at 8:30. Please bring work gloves and a wheelbarrow, and they'll be at the tables at the fair. Also, the Decade Party is next Saturday from 6 to 10. Today's the last day to purchase tickets. Sue will be out in the social hall selling tickets. It's for everyone of all ages. It's going to be a blast. And next week is the last week to donate cans to Lily's Girl Scout troop. So please come. All these announcements and more in the flash. And if you're not getting the flash, go to UUFH.org to sign up. Thanks.